Let's play quietly. Hey everybody, this is Brian here from Let's Play Quietly, and this is the second installment of the LPQ Weekly Whisper. I really appreciate the positive feedback that we've gotten so far on this new series, and so we're going to continue making them, which again, if you watch our other videos on the site, most of what we do on LPQ is Let's Play videos. We also do some short story readings, but not too many rambles like this. And so this kind of gives us a good opportunity to talk about other games that we're playing or things that we're excited about in the gaming world, or even occasionally perhaps a topic that's not directly related to gaming. So in today's ramble, I thought I would talk about some of the games that I'm currently playing that we have not been featuring on our channel. Some of these games are games that you will find videos for on our Co-op Critics YouTube channel. And this first one that I'm going to talk about is one of those games that you'll find on our other channel. And it is called The Forest. So, I am a huge horror fan. I grew up watching horror movies. In particular, I am a huge 80s horror movie fan. Maybe sometime I'll do a ramble about my favorite horror series, because I have several. But The Forest is, at its core, a horror game where you play as someone who was on a plane ride with their son when the plane crashes on an island, and your son is taken by one of the inhabitants of the island, and you have to not only search for your son, but try to survive, because the inhabitants of the island can be extremely violent and will often attack you, especially at night. I've been playing this game with Nick, who is the other voice of LPQ and Co-op Critics, and we have spent well over 20 hours on this island, exploring and building and surviving and searching. And what I like about this game is that it takes some of the elements of other games I've played recently, like, you could say, Minecraft or Ark Survival so that there is a robust enough building mechanic and crafting mechanic, but it's not overly cumbersome or overwhelming in the way that some of those other games, particularly Ark for me, can be. And so you are building everything from campfires and temporary shelters to large forts or walled structures or towers or anything like that in order to keep yourself safe and be able to grow food and be able to store supplies. The weapon crafting system in the game is not very complex or robust. It really consists of being able to upgrade weapons a bit or craft certain type of simple weapons, but overall most of the crafting is about creating shelters for yourself, creating ways to prepare food, and being able to set everything from simple to fairly complex traps to protect your area. And one of the cool things about the forest is that you could spend dozens of hours simply doing those things, crafting, collecting supplies, exploring the island, and just surviving. But what makes it a more interesting game to me than some of those other games is that there is this story of you trying to track down your child. And so the encounters that you have with the inhabitants of the island and the clues or objects or artifacts that you find along the way are all little tiny puzzle pieces that will help you solve the mystery of what happened to your child, and perhaps be able to rescue them. And so that mystery, for me, kept it so that we never got too sidetracked with the other elements of the game. Now, having said that, we still spent, I would say, at least 20 hours in the game, but we recently finished it, and I thought it had a very satisfying ending. The episodes, I believe we did 20 of them overall, and the first 14 of them are currently up on Co-op Critics. The rest will be up over the next couple of weeks. But we just finished that game the other day. And whether you watch the videos or not, I would highly recommend playing that game if you are a fan of survival and crafting games, or if you are a horror fan. The game was not overly scary on a moment-to-moment basis, but there are some genuinely creepy moments and some really good jump scares that happened organically as we were playing. And there is a sense of dread when night falls on the island, because you know that you're more vulnerable and that the danger is really turned up to 11 at night. And so those elements, combined with the mystery of what was really going on at the island, together worked really well in terms of horror. So I would recommend this game if you are a fan of any of those things that I mentioned. Another game I've been playing recently that is also a horror game is Resident Evil 7. I am a fan of the Resident Evil series, but I have not enjoyed the last couple games in that series. But this game, in fact, the last game that I really enjoyed of the Resident Evil series was the 3DS version of Resident Evil Revelations that came out a few years ago. And I played it in its entirety on the 3DS. This game, however, I am absolutely loving, and it is the type of scary that I associate with the Resident Evil series, which is the sort of slow, dreadful, constant feeling of impending doom as you explore these mysterious locations and solve puzzles and build items and try to find your way out. And that general sense of dread is punctuated by some real moments of terror or jump scares that are extremely effective. And so, I've really been enjoying it, and I would say I'm at least a third to almost halfway through the game, and I'm loving it. I actually wrote a post a few weeks ago about all of the nods to horror movies that are in the very first hour of Resident Evil 7. There are nods to everything from Evil Dead to Texas Chainsaw Massacre to the Blair Witch Project to shows like True Detective to the game PT. There's a laundry list of them. In particular, I think the game is very influenced by True Detective, especially in the look, the location, and the general vibe of the game. There are some almost shot-for-shot nods to the series. I will put a link in the show notes to the post that I wrote about those influences, and I may discuss Resident Evil 7 more in the future. I don't believe I'll do a series on it, only because as much of a horror fan as I am, and I have had some horror on our site, even for ASMR, I'm not sure that Resident Evil 7 is the most relaxing game to fall asleep to. But it is fun to talk about some of those horror influences, as well as just how well the game executes on the old formula, because it really does. So perhaps I'll talk about that more in the future. But that's kind of, I think, where I'm going to stop today. So those are two of the games that I've been playing quite a bit. I am about to start playing some role-playing games, and I'll talk more about those games over some of the next weekly whispers. So, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and I will be back again soon with another weekly